Hello students, in previous class we discussed about emulsion, suspension, colloid, Tyndall effect. In this video we are discussing about separating the components of a mixture. Till now we have discussed the types of mixtures, and do you know the techniques to separate these mixtures to their respective constituents? So we have discussed the types of mixtures and the techniques to separate these mixtures into their respective constituents. Usually heterogeneous mixtures can be separated into their respective constituents by the physical methods like hand picking, sieving, filtration, as we used in our daily life. Sometimes special techniques have to be used for the separation of the components of mixtures. So sometimes we can use the special techniques to separation of the components of mixtures. We have learned in class 6th how to separate the mixture in various ways like flotation, filtration, crystallization, chromatography. Let us see more. That one of the separation method is sublimation. So what is the meaning of sublimation? Sublimation is nothing but if a substance directly changes from solid to gaseous state. That is called as sublimation. If a substance changing its state from solid to gas, then we can call that process as a sublimation. By the sublimation process, we can separate the salt from ammonium chloride. Okay, how can we separate the salt from ammonium chloride? Now we will discuss. So what is our activity name? Separation of mixture by sublimation. Aim. So aim means for which purpose we are perform this activity. Okay, so to separate the ammonium chloride from the mixture of salt, we are performing this activity. To separate the ammonium chloride from mixture of salt, we are doing this experiment. So what are the materials we need to perform this experiment? China dish, funnel, cotton, ammonium chloride, common salt and stove. So with the help of this, how can we perform the experiment? Now we will discuss. First, take one tablespoon of ammonium chloride and 1 tablespoon of common salt and mix them. Okay, take 1 spoon of ammonium chloride and take 1 spoon of common salt and mix them, and take the mixture of this ammonium chloride and common salt in a china dish. Okay, now take a glass funnel, plug the mouth of a funnel with the help of cotton. So take the mixture of ammonium chloride and salt in one china dish and take a glass funnel, close the mouth of the glass funnel, to close the stem of that glass funnel with the help of a cotton. Okay, now keep this china dish on the burner. Okay, so keep this china dish on the stove as shown in the figure, and invert the glass funnel on the china dish as shown in the figure. Okay, so invert the glass funnel on the china dish. Now heat the dish on the stove and observe the walls of a funnel. Okay, heat the dish for some time and observe the walls of a funnel. What happened? We can see some vapors on the walls of a glass funnel. Okay, what are that vapors? These are the vapors of ammonium chloride. These are the vapors of ammonium chloride. Here we find the vapors of ammonium chloride on the walls of a funnel. Okay, so initially we find the vapors of ammonium chloride and then solidified ammonium chloride on the walls of a funnel. We can see the ammonium chloride vapors on the walls of a funnel. After some time it will solidified and we can see on the walls of a funnel. So here what happened? So when we heat the china dish, what is there in the china dish? Mixture of ammonium chloride and salt is there. When we heat the china dish, then what happened? The ammonium chloride changing its state from solid to gaseous state. So that's why we can see vapors on the walls of a glass funnel. Okay, After some time these vapors are cooled, and we can see that solidified ammonium chloride on that. So like that we can separate the salt from ammonium chloride. So the separation of salt from ammonium chloride, this process is one of the example for sublimation. Means here uh, here the substance directly changing its state from solid to gas. So the substance changing its state from solid to gas. So we can say this is one of the example for sublimation. Now we will discuss about evaporation, process of evaporation of water. So here uh, with the help of this process, what we can separate? We can separate the dye present in an ink by the process of evaporation. So by the process of this evaporation, we can separate the dye present in ink. So what is the aim of this activity? To separate the dye present in ink by the process of evaporation. So to perform this activity, we need one beaker, watch glass, water, ink and stove. First, take a beaker and fill it to half of its volume with water. Take a beaker, fill half of the water in that beaker. Now keep a glass on the mouth of a beaker. So keep one glass on the mouth of a beaker. Which glass? Watch glass. Okay. Keep one watch glass on the mouth of a beaker. Put few drops of ink on the watch glass. So put few drops of ink on the watch glass and heat the beaker and observe the watch glass. Heat the beaker and observe the watch glass. What we can observe? We observe some fumes coming from the watch glass. So we can observe some fumes are coming out from the watch glass. Continue heating till you do not observe any further change on the watch glass. So continue the heating till do not observe any further change on the watch glass. So a small residue will be remain on the watch glass. A small residue will form on the watch glass. So we know that ink is a mixture of dye in water. So the residue remain on the watch glass is dye present in the ink. So here we took one glass beaker. In that glass beaker we took some water and we take one watch glass and we kept that watch glass on the mouth of a beaker and put few drops of ink on the watch glass. So heat the beaker and observe the watch glass. So we observe that some fumes are coming outside from the watch glass and continue heating till you do not observe any further change on the watch glass. So a small residue will be remained on the watch glass. A residue remained on the watch glass is the dye present in the ink. We know that the ink is a mixture of dye in water. Today, now we are discussing one more activity. That activity to observe the colors present in a marker ink. Okay. So to observe the colors present in the marker ink, we are performing this activity. So what is the aim of this activity? Separating the components of a ink using a paper chromatography. Separating the components present in a ink with the help of chromatography activity. So to perform this activity, we need some materials. What are that materials? Beaker, rectangular shaped filter paper, black marker, water, pencil and sellotape. So to perform this activity, we need a beaker, rectangular shaped filter paper, black marker, non-permanent marker, okay, water, pencil and sellotape. How can we perform this activity? Draw a thick line just above the bottom of the filter paper using the marker. So here take a filter paper. Draw a thick line just above the filter paper with the help of a marker. Here in this picture we can observe rectangular shaped filter paper. No? Here one dark line is there, no? That is marker line. Like that we should write the dark line on the filter paper with the help of a marker. Next, pour some water in the beaker. Take a beaker, pour some water in the beaker. Next, hang the paper strip with the help of a pencil and tape in such a way that it could just touch the surface of a water. So take a paper, filter paper, hang the paper strip with the help of pencil and tape in such a way that it should just touches the surface of a water as shown in the figure. Make sure that the ink line or mark does not touches the water. So when you are immersing that filter paper in the water, you should see that the ink line or marker line does not touches the water, and allow the water to move up the paper for 5 minutes. So leave it like that only some time. After some time, what happened? The water move up the paper for 5 minutes. Okay, the water is move up the paper. Then remove the strip from the water. So allow the water to move up the paper for 5 minutes and remove the strip from water. So after some time, the water is move upside onto the filter paper. After that, remove the paper from the beaker and let it dry. Make it dry and repeat the process with the help of green marker and with a permanent marker. So when it will become dry, what we can observe? So we can observe when a black marker is used, we observe different colors like red, green, violet, black, etc. on the filter paper after drying. Okay, so on filter paper we drawn one line with the help of marker, no? So when the filter paper become dry, then we can observe, if we use, okay, here we are used black marker. If we use black marker, when the black marker is used, we observe the different colors like red, green, violet, black, etc. on filter paper after drying. If we use a green marker, we observe yellow, blue, green colors on the filter paper. When the permanent marker is used, we cannot find any change in the mark. Okay, so here in ink, different colors will be there. That ink is a mixture of different colors. That different colors we can separate it by the process of chromatography. So this chromatography is nothing but color separation method. Okay, so these different colors are, means from when we use a black marker, green, red, violet, that all will come outside now. So that all colors we can see, means these are colors we can separate it. So with the help of this chromatography process, this chromatography is nothing but color separation method. In 6th class also we perform one activity, no? Take a chalk piece and draw one line at the bottom of the chalk piece with the help of a marker and dip the chalk piece in the plate which is contain water. After some time, the chalk piece is absorbing the water and make it dry. Okay, dry the chalk piece. After some time, we can observe different colors on the chalk piece. So which colors will be present in that ink? That all colors will be separated by the process of this chromatography. Now we will discuss one more activity. What are that activity? Separation of immiscible and miscible liquids. So what is the meaning of miscible liquids and immiscible liquids? Now we will discuss. A liquid is said to be miscible if it is dissolved completely in another liquid. If a liquid it is dissolved in another liquid completely, then we can call that liquid has a miscible liquid. For example, alcohol is miscible in water. A liquid is said to be miscible if it is dissolved completely in another liquid. So, alcohol is miscible in water. Can you give some more example for miscible liquids? And what is the meaning of immiscible liquids? An immiscible liquid is one which does not dissolve but forms a layer over another liquid and can be separated easily, like oil immiscible in water. So immiscible liquid is one which does not dissolve but form a layer. Means if one liquid is not dissolving in another liquid, then we can call that as a immiscible liquid. Okay, for example, oil does not dissolving in the water. This is one of the example for immiscible liquid. Okay, so what is the meaning of immiscible liquids and miscible liquids? Now we will discuss. Miscible liquid is said to be miscible if it is dissolves completely in another liquid. A liquid is dissolved completely in another liquid, then we can call that as a miscible liquid. And immiscible liquid means if a liquid which does not dissolve in another liquid but forms a layer, this liquid is called as immiscible liquids. Okay, so an immiscible liquid is one which does not dissolve but it forms a layer over the another liquid and can be separated easily. So now we are discussing about the separation of immiscible liquids. How to separate the immiscible liquids? Now we will discuss. So what is the aim of this activity? To separate the immiscible liquids. Will you say some example for immiscible liquids? Water and oil, kerosene and oil. These are the example for immiscible liquids. Okay. So you must have seen a mixture of oil and water. How many layers can be observed? How can you separate the two components? So we can see the mixture of oil and water as example for immiscible liquids. So water mixture of oil and water we can say example for immiscible liquids. So this we can separate it by with the help of separating funnel. So here take a separating funnel. So separating funnel is in this picture we can see one operator, no, that is separating funnel. Take a separating funnel and pour the mixture of kerosene oil or castor oil and water. Means take a separating funnel, in that pour the mixture of kerosene oil and water. Okay, let it stand undisturbed for some time. Okay, leave it some time like that only. So that separate layers of oil and water are formed. So here the separate layers of oil and water will form. Open the stop cork of the separating funnel. Downside stop cork is there, no? Open the stop cork of the separating funnel and pour out the lower layer of water carefully. So pour out the on the stop cork. Open the stop cork. Then what happen? Water layer will be there, no? So take that water layer in one beaker. Close the stop cork of the separating funnel as the oil reaches the stop cork. Okay, when the oil reaches the stop cork, then close the stop cork. Okay, now take one more beacon and open the stop cork and collect that oil into the another beaker. Okay, so here we can, by the process of this with the help of this separating funnel, we can separate the water and oil mixture. So oil is not dissolving in the water, it form a layer that we can separate with the help of separating funnel. In the separating funnel we should take the mixture of oil and water and leave it some time like that only. So this oil will be form a layer on the surface of a water. So we should take water and oil mixture, or we can take water and kerosene mixture also. Okay, so if we take water and oil mixture, that the oil is form a layer on the surface of a water. Okay, so leave the separating funnel like that only, don't disturb it. So when the layers are separated, when the layers of water and oil is separated, open the stop cork. Keep one beaker at the bottom of the stop cork and open the stop cork and collect the water in that beaker. When the oil reaches the stop cork, close the stop cork. Okay, and take another beaker. Keep the separating funnel in another beaker and collect the oil in that beaker. So like this we can separate the oil and water. Okay, if you took kerosene and water, okay, first you separate the water, after that separate the kerosene in another beaker. So like this we can separate the separate the oil and water or kerosene and water mixture. Okay, so till now what we discussed about the separation methods. What are the separation methods? Sublimation, evaporation, and paper chromatography and with the help of separating funnel, how can we separate, that we discussed till now. Okay, so sublimation means what? Sublimation is nothing but if a substance changing its state from directly solid to gas, then we can call that process as a sublimation. With the help of the sublimation, we can separate the ammonium chloride and salt. Evaporation, by the evaporation process, we can separate the dye present in a ink. And paper chromatography, with the help of this paper chromatography, we can separate the colors present in a component. We can separate the colors present in a component with the help of this paper chromatography method. And how to separate the invisible substance mixtures. Okay, invisible substances we can separate with the help of a separating funnel. Okay, so how to separate this separating funnel also we discussed